Now the Dionysian shatters. Dionysos is the energy that shatters in order to bring forth. Anything that is going to be created involves the shattering of what was there before it. Creativity is a shattering business. And so you have this dynamic. There is Dionysos riding on the leopard, who represents the vitality and energy of the solar light, which just pours into the world. He rides it. This is a favorite picture of mine. Dionysos inviting a jeune fille de famille, you know. Come on, darling. You'll meet some very interesting women. And my God, aren't they, though? Here's one of them. This beautiful Maenad, snakes in her hair, going to tear a leopard apart, with the thyrsos here, symbolic of the sap, the vegetative flow of life, uncontrolled by reason, just the dynamic of nature. This always reminds me of one of my Sarah Lawrence students after her first sociology class. She has learned that Daddy's fortune, which is what's paying for her schooling, is based on blood and bones. He is an exploiter of the exploited, and she's on the side of the exploited. And she comes home for Thanksgiving dinner, and it's a lovely party. Now, fortunately, she's in an institution for 4 years, and we may be able to cool her down. But this is just what Jung calls an antiodromia, tipping over, going to the other side. It's as though you suddenly decided that you wanted to drive a car with the wheel on the right side instead of the left. And you're bumping now the fenders off on the other side. And there's nobody steering from the middle. This is the background of this idea of the Maenad. This is from 1500 BC in Crete, a little image that was in the chapel at the royal palace at Knossos. And it shows the symbolism associated with the great goddess. The early Bronze Age and late Bronze Age societies were basically agricultural in their base. And where you have an agriculturally based society, the goddess plays a big, big role. She is the giver of life, and she is the giver of nourishment. Here she is associated with two animals. I want to speak of these. The serpent. The goddess is associated with the serpent, the Garden of Eden, Eve and the serpent. The serpent sheds its skin to be born again, as the moon sheds its shadow to be born again. Moon and serpent represent the power of life to throw off death and come to new birth. This is the energy and consciousness of life engaged in the field of time. Where there is time, there is inevitably birth and death. Where there is time, there is inevitably sorrow, the loss of what was valued. And it's always in terms of pairs of opposites. In the field of time, everything is experienced in terms of opposites. Good and evil, male and female, man and God. That's a mode of experience. The sun does not carry a shadow in itself. When the sun sets, the light sets with the sun. It is not the sun that is in darkness, but we who are. And so the sun represents the light and energy of life and consciousness, not engaged in the field of time, disengaged, absolute. It is the same light that is engaged in the field of time. The moon, dying and resurrecting, reflects solar light. And so it's the same light in two places. And this mother goddess, in Buddhism, the light is called the mother light, the light of consciousness, the undifferentiated light of consciousness, the mother light. Or you can read it the other way around, as in India, Kali, whose name means the black, and also means time, the black source out of which all comes, black into which it goes. You can read it either light or dark, one way or the other. It is undifferentiated, absolute being consciousness.